The scissors sliced through fabric with a whisper that made Rebecca Mitchell's breath catch in her throat. Cold metal kissed her skin just below the collarbone, and she could smell Nathan's cologne mixed with something darker. Fear. Her own. "Scream louder, Miss Mitchell." Nathan Reynolds leaned closer, his 18-year-old face twisted into something that belonged in nightmares. "The microphone needs to hear you." 24 hours earlier, Rebecca had been grading watercolors in her empty classroom. Autumn rain drumming against the windows of Lincoln Heights High School. The email notification had seemed innocent enough. Just another message in her school account. Her fingers had hesitated over the mouse for only a second before clicking. The video started playing immediately. It was her face, perfectly mapped onto a body that wasn't hers, doing things that made her stomach lurch. The deepfake was flawless. Even she had to look twice to be sure it wasn't real. Below the video, a single line of text burned into her retina: "Post this Monday, or we post our version." Her ceramic coffee mug had shattered on the floor, brown liquid spreading like blood across the linoleum. She'd sat there for 17 minutes, unable to move, unable to breathe, watching her professional life crumble in pixels. The bathroom door creaked open, startling her back to the present. Lily Walker stood there, 16 years old and shaking like autumn leaves. The girl's mascara had run in black rivers down her cheeks. "Miss Mitchell," Lily's voice barely existed. Can I show you something?" Rebecca had seen that look before. In the mirror. "Come in, Lily. Close the door." The girl's phone trembled in her grip as she held it out. Another video. Another life destroyed. This time it was Lily. But the same surgical precision in the fake. The same cruelty in the creation. "They did this to me 3 weeks ago." Lily's whisper carried the weight of sleepless nights. "Now you. They're getting bolder." The art room suddenly felt too small. The smell of acrylic paint too sharp. Rebecca forced her voice to stay steady. "Who's they? Lily, Nathan Reynolds, Marcus Thompson, their whole group." The names fell like stones into still water. "They have a room after school where they make these." Somewhere in the school, a door slammed. Both women flinched. The computer lab should have been empty at 9:45 at night, but blue light flickered under the door like electronic ghosts. Rebecca pressed her ear against the wood and heard it. Laughter. Young, male, predatory. Through the narrow window, she saw them. 12 monitors arranged in a semicircle, each displaying a different face. Students, teachers, all women, all victims. Nathan Reynolds sat in the center like a spider in his digital web, his fingers dancing across keyboards with practiced ease. "You see the resolution on this one?" Nathan spun in his chair, addressing his disciples. 4K quality. You can count her tears. Marcus Thompson hunched over his workstation, hoodie pulled up despite the warmth. "Nathan, teachers are different from students. The legal, everyone breaks." Nathan's smile could have curdled milk. "Teachers just take a little more pressure. Watch and learn." The screen nearest to Nathan displayed Rebecca's faculty photo next to a body double from an adult website. The mapping software worked in real time, adjusting skin tone, matching shadows, perfecting the lie. By Monday, Mitchell will be begging to do whatever we want. Nathan's voice carried the confidence of someone who'd never faced consequences. Just like Walker, just like all of them. Rebecca's fingernails bit crescents into her palms. Inside that room, her future was being dissected and rebuilt into a weapon against her. 2 floors up, Sarah O'Brien worked alone in her classroom, but teaching wasn't on her mind. The math teacher's walls had transformed into an investigation board that would make a detective proud. Red string connected photos, dates, incidents. A timeline of digital horror stretching back 8 months. Deepfake victims 12 confirmed, Sarah muttered, adding another photo to her collection. Her laptop screen glowed with spreadsheets, forum posts, cryptocurrency transactions. 3 attempted suicides, 7 school transfers, 0 arrests. Lily Walker's photo hung in the center, 2 red X marks beside it. Attempted suicide. Twice. Sarah's jaw clenched as she traced the string from Lily to 3 other girls, all connected by the same digital nightmare. "I need just one brave victim," Sarah whispered to the empty room. "Just one willing to fight back instead of hide." Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. The text was simple. "Check your email. You're not alone in this. RM." And the garage smelled like leather and sweat and memories. 8-year-old Rebecca bounced on her toes. Tiny pink boxing gloves too big for her hands. Her father, Patrick Mitchell, knelt beside her. His Cleveland Police Academy t-shirt faded from too many washes. Wrist control. Becca. His massive hands guided her small ones. "Someone comes at you with a weapon. You control the weapon hand first." Young Rebecca practiced the movement, her face scrunched in concentration. "Like this? Daddy? Perfect. Now, what's the rule? We never start a fight," Rebecca recited, her voice sing-song with repetition. Patrick's weathered face cracked into a smile. But we always finish it." The memory faded as 29-year-old Rebecca touched the dog tags hanging from her rearview mirror. Patrick Mitchell, killed in the line of duty 6 years ago. He'd taught her to fight with her fists. Now she faced an enemy that attacked through screens. Her phone buzzed. "Sarah O'Brien. Can you meet urgent?" Rebecca typed back, "On my way." The art room should have been her sanctuary, but as Rebecca gathered her things, something felt wrong. The late afternoon sun slanted through windows, casting long shadows across student paintings. She paused, instinct prickling. There, in the heating vent, a tiny red light, no bigger than a pinhead. A camera. Her blood turned to ice water. How long had it been there? How many private moments had they stolen? She thought of all the times she'd been alone here, grading papers, eating lunch, making phone calls. The scissors on her desk suddenly looked less like art supplies and more like weapons. Daniel Peterson didn't look like a hacker. 16 years old, new to Lincoln Heights. He had the kind of forgettable face that let him ghost through hallways unnoticed. But behind his thick glasses lived a mind that could make computers sing. His laptop connected to the school's Wi-Fi with practiced ease. Most students used it for social media. Daniel used it to hunt monsters. "Come on," he muttered, fingers flying across keys. "Where are you hiding?" The network traffic looked normal at first glance, but Daniel didn't do first glances. He dove deeper, following data streams like breadcrumbs through a digital forest. There, an anomaly. Massive bandwidth usage from the old equipment shed. Got you. 3 minutes later, he stood outside the shed, autumn wind biting through his thin jacket. The lock had been replaced recently. Professional grade. Whatever was inside. Someone wanted it protected. Daniel smiled. He'd been breaking professional-grade security since he was 12. The lock clicked open. Inside, hidden behind stacks of old desks, hummed a server that had no business being in a high school storage shed. Daniel's flashlight revealed the truth in horrible detail. 847 video files, over 200 victims, 3 schools, Holy. And now Daniel's hand shook as he copied everything to his external drive. This isn't just Nathan. This is... A hand fell on his shoulder. Daniel's scream died in his throat as he spun around. Rebecca Mitchell stood there, her face grim in the harsh fluorescent light. "I think we need to talk," she said. The art room had become a gathering place for the broken. 5 girls sat in a circle, voices low, eyes darting to the door every few seconds. Rebecca had disabled the hidden camera, but paranoia lingered like paint fumes. "My parents still think I'm lying." Lily's voice carried no emotion left. "They said I must have made the video myself, for attention." Another girl, Maya, laughed bitterly. "I changed schools, moved to Lakewood. They found me in 3 weeks. The video was already spreading before I unpacked." "How much?" Rebecca kept her voice gentle. "How much do they make from this 500 to 5,000 per video?" The answer came from Ashley, a senior with dead eyes. "Depends on the content. They sell them on the dark web. Cryptocurrency only." Rebecca's stomach churned. This wasn't just bullying. This was a business, an industry built on destroying lives. "There's something else." Maya pulled out her phone. "I've been tracking their forums. They're planning something bigger. They call it Phase 2. The screen showed a chat log. Rebecca read with growing horror. The faculty files. Every female teacher in the district. "They already started," Lily whispered. "You're just the first." The coffee shop buzzed with normal life, parents chatting, students studying, in the corner booth. 3 conspirators planned war. "Marcus Thompson wants out." Sarah O'Brien pushed a photo across the table. "I've been watching him. He's cracking." Daniel studied the image. Marcus leaving school. Shoulders hunched, looking over his shoulder. He's scared, more than the others. Nathan has something on him. Rebecca stirred her coffee, thinking. Same way he controls the others. Blackmail, threats. His little sister goes to Madison Middle. Sarah's voice dropped. 7th grade, honor roll, perfect leverage. Daniel's laptop beeped. Wait, this is interesting. His fingers danced across keys. Marcus Thompson, juvenile record sealed, but there. 2 years ago. Caught hacking for the FBI as a consultant. Probation deal. So Nathan found out, and Rebecca didn't need to finish. The picture painted itself. A reformed kid hacker, trying to go straight. Caught in a web of threats. He could be our way in, Sarah said, if we can guarantee his sister's safety. How do we approach him without Nathan knowing? Daniel smiled for the first time. Leave that to me. I speak fluent hacker. The knock on Rebecca's apartment door came at 11:17 at night. She checked the peephole, hand on the baseball bat behind the door. Detective Quinn Harrison stood in the hallway. Badge visible, face tired. Miss Mitchell, I'm sorry for the late hour. We need to talk. 5 minutes later, they sat across her kitchen table, coffee cooling between them. Quinn's weathered face showed 45 years of seeing humanity's worst. I've been tracking Nathan Reynolds for 8 months. Quinn's voice carried frustration. Kid's smart, uses international servers. Cryptocurrency. Anonymizer chains. Everything I need for a warrant lives in legal gray zones. So you need... Rebecca let the question hang. A real crime. Physical evidence. Something that happens in person, not through screens. Quinn's eyes were steel. These kids think they're untouchable because they live in the digital world. But everyone has to surface sometime. You're asking me to be bait? I'm asking you to be brave. Quinn leaned forward. You're not the first teacher they've targeted. But you could be the first to fight back. Rebecca thought of Lily's tears, Maya's dead voice. Her father's dog tags felt heavy around her neck. What do you need me to do? The garage hadn't changed much in 6 years. Patrick Mitchell's heavy bag still hung in the corner, leather cracked with age and use. Rebecca's fists remembered the rhythm: jab, cross, hook. The sound echoed in the empty space. Adrenaline makes you stupid, Becca. Her father's voice lived in video files now, teaching from beyond the grave. On her phone screen, Patrick demonstrated defense techniques to a class of rookies. When the fear hits, when the anger comes, that's when you need your training most. She hit the bag harder. Sweat stung her eyes. In 4 hours, she would walk into Nathan's trap. The plan was simple. Too simple. Let them think they'd won. Let them get comfortable. Let them commit crimes on camera. Her knuckles split. Blood spotted the leather. She didn't stop. Behind a stack of old training equipment, a box caught her eye. Her father's name in faded Sharpie. Inside, wrapped in plastic, his old body camera from the Force, the kind that recorded everything, uploaded to the cloud automatically. A note, yellowed with age. For my warrior daughter, love, Dad. Rebecca clipped the camera inside her jacket. Patrick Mitchell would be with her tomorrow, one way or another. The text came at 2:47 in the morning. Unknown number. Marcus Thompson's digital signature hidden in the metadata for those who knew where to look. Art room. North corner has blind spot. Nathan brings 4, 2 block doors, 1 manages cameras, 1 enforcer, N always attacks from left. 30-second window between entry and door lock. Delete this. Rebecca deleted it. Then she texted Sarah. He's helping. Confirmed. Cameras are live. Daniel's ready. Quinn has 6 units standing by. And if it goes wrong, then we'll have bigger problems than deepfakes. Rebecca stared at her ceiling, counting heartbeats. In 12 hours, everything would change. Win or lose, the secret war would become public. Her phone buzzed once more. Lily Walker. Thank you for being brave. We're all with you. Rebecca typed back. Together. Monday arrived wrapped in gray clouds and dread. Rebecca moved through her classes like a ghost, playing the part of the breaking victim. Dropped coffee mug in second period. Shaking hands during third. By lunch, the whispers had started. Did you see Mitchell? She looks rough. I heard she's been crying in the bathroom. Nathan said something about a surprise after school. Each whisper was a breadcrumb, leading the predators closer. Rebecca left her laptop open during lunch. Fake emails visible to anyone who looked. Begging friends for advice. Considering resignation. Googling how to disappear. Nathan Reynolds walked past her table, smile sharp as winter. Their eyes met for just a moment. He winked. The trap was set. 3:45. The art room emptied of students. November rain painting rivers down windows. Rebecca sat at her desk, pretending to grade papers. Her father's camera recorded everything. Sarah's hidden cameras waited in corners. Daniel's programs monitored network traffic. Footsteps in the hallway, multiple sets, moving with purpose. Rebecca's hand trembled as she made a final mark on a student's painting. The door opened. Nathan entered first, confidence radiating like heat. Behind him, 4 others. They moved with practiced efficiency. 2 blocked the exits. Marcus went to the windows, pulling shades. The 4th, a senior Rebecca didn't recognize, began setting up equipment. Hello, Miss Mitchell. Nathan's voice dripped false sympathy. Working late again. You really should take better care of yourself. The door locked with a click that sounded like a coffin closing. Nathan, Rebecca kept her voice level. Whatever you're planning. Planning? Nathan laughed, moving closer. Oh, Miss Mitchell, we're way past planning. The laptop screen flickered to life behind him. 10 windows opened, each showing a different angle of the room. But in the corner, smaller, another feed. Rebecca's heart stopped. Lily Walker, tied to a chair in what looked like a basement. Unconscious, or worse. Insurance policy, Nathan explained, pulling scissors from his pocket. You scream, you fight, you do anything except what I tell you, and sweet little Lily takes your place in our next production. But worse, so much worse. The scissors glinted in the fluorescent light. Nathan stepped closer, close enough that Rebecca could see her reflection in the blade. Now then, his smile belonged in nightmares. Let's make some movie magic. The scissors touched Rebecca's skin, cold metal tracing a line from her collarbone toward her shoulder. The fabric of her blouse parted with a whisper. Nathan's breathing quickened, excited by her stillness. That's it, he murmured. Nice and quiet, Marcus. Make sure we're getting all the angles. Marcus Thompson moved like a marionette with tangled strings, adjusting cameras he'd secretly disconnected from the upload server. His eyes met Rebecca's for a fraction of a second. A message passed between them. Hold on. Almost there. You know what I love about teachers? Nathan circled her like a shark. Scissors dancing. You're so concerned about your reputation, your precious careers. It makes you so compliant. The second cut went deeper. Rebecca felt warm blood trickle down her arm, but didn't flinch. Her father's voice echoed in her memory. Pain is just information, Becca. Process it and move on. Why isn't she reacting? One of Nathan's crew shifted nervously by the door. They usually cry by now. Nathan's face darkened. He pressed the scissors harder, cutting through more fabric, exposing Rebecca's shoulder. Still, she stared straight ahead, breathing controlled, counting heartbeats. Scream, Nathan commanded. I want tears. I want begging. No. The word hung in the air like a challenge. Nathan's face twisted from confusion to rage. He grabbed Rebecca's chin, forcing her to look at the screen showing Lily. You want to be responsible for what happens to her? You think you're some kind of hero? Rebecca's voice came out steady as stone. I think you're a scared little boy who hurts people because someone hurt you first. The slap cracked across her face like lightning. Nathan's mask had slipped completely now, revealing the monster beneath the teenage facade. You don't know anything about me. I know your father is Reynolds Industries CEO. Rebecca tasted blood, but kept talking. I know he's been under investigation for embezzlement for 2 years. I know your mother left when you were 12. I know you started doing this because you can't control anything else in your life. Each word hit Nathan like a physical blow. His hand shook as he raised the scissors again, this time aiming for her face. Shut up. Shut up. The third cut never landed. 21 years of muscle memory took over. Rebecca's hand shot up, catching Nathan's wrist in a grip her father had drilled into her bones. Control the weapon hand first. Lesson 1 from my father, she said, twisting. Nathan's scream pitched high as his wrist bent at an impossible angle. The scissors clattered to the floor. In the same motion, Rebecca swept his legs, and suddenly the predator was on his back, gasping like a landed fish. Nathan! 2 of his crew charged forward. Rebecca moved without thinking. The first attacker caught an elbow to the solar plexus, dropping him like a sack of flour. The second managed to grab her injured arm before her knee found his groin. He joined his friend on the floor, curled in a fetal position. "Stop! Everyone, stop!" Marcus shouted. But his hands were busy at the keyboard, on the screens, instead of the deepfake software. Windows began opening. File directories, upload histories, victim lists with real names. Nathan tried to scramble away, but Rebecca's foot on his chest pinned him like a butterfly to a board. He writhed, face red, tears streaming. "Please," he gasped. "My dad will kill me. You don't understand. He'll actually kill me." "Good," Lily's voice cut through the chaos. She stood in the doorway, very much not tied up in a basement, holding a can of pepper spray. "Then you'll know how we felt." The fake hostage video had been Daniel's creation, a digital trap within a trap. Lily aimed the spray at the fourth crew member, who raised his hands in surrender. "Everyone freeze Cleveland police." The door exploded inward. Detective Quinn Harrison entered with 8 officers, weapons drawn, badges blazing. The art room transformed into a crime scene in seconds. "Nathan Reynolds, you're under arrest for criminal harassment, production of non-consensual pornography, extortion, assault." Quinn's list continued as officers cuffed the suspects. Nathan had gone limp, sobbing, but not normal tears. These were the tears of a child, calling for his mother, begging for help that wouldn't come. "Mommy," he whimpered as they hauled him up. "I want my mommy." Rebecca felt no satisfaction watching him break, only a hollow sadness for whatever had twisted a kid into a monster. "Miss Mitchell," Quinn appeared at her elbow with a paramedic. "We need to document your injuries." She looked down at the blood on her blouse, the cuts that would scar. "They're just scratches. They're evidence," Quinn corrected. "And brave ones at that." Behind them, Daniel had commandeered the main screen. His fingers flew across keyboards, pulling up everything Marcus had hidden in the system. The depth of the operation unfolded like a digital avalanche. "Detective, you need to see this." Daniel's voice cracked. "It's not just our school. They have a network. Chicago, Detroit, Columbus. Over 1,000 victims." Quinn whistled low. "Jesus Christ." "There's more." Daniel pulled up financial records. They were franchising it, selling the software, the methods, teaching other kids how to... He didn't need to finish. The room felt colder despite the crowd of officers. "Marcus Thompson." Quinn stood before the hunched figure. "You want to explain your role in this?" Marcus looked up, hood falling back to reveal a face that belonged to a scared kid. Not a criminal mastermind. 2 years ago, I helped the FBI crack a child trafficking ring. White hat hacking. Legal. Nathan found out. Said he'd tell everyone I was a snitch. Said he'd use my sister. So you helped him. I sabotaged him. Marcus straightened slightly. Every video that was supposed to auto-upload, I delayed. Every victim he targeted. I warned if I could. I've been collecting evidence for months, waiting for someone brave enough to use it. He looked at Rebecca. "I'm sorry I couldn't do more. I'm sorry for all of them." Sarah O'Brien pushed through the crowd of officers, laptop in hand. "I can corroborate that. I've been tracking anonymous tips about the operation. Digital fingerprints match Marcus." "You'll testify?" Quinn asked. Marcus nodded. "Against all of them. I know where the servers are. I know the cryptocurrency wallets. I know the buyers." His voice grew stronger. "I want to burn it all down." "Get him to the station," Quinn ordered. "Protective custody, if he's telling the truth. He just became our star witness." As they led Marcus away, he paused beside Rebecca. Check Nathan's personal folder, the one marked Insurance. You'll understand why he's really crying for his mother. The main screen flickered as Daniel navigated deeper into the system. Hidden beneath layers of encryption, a folder labeled NR. Insurance waited like a digital Pandora's box. "Should I?" Daniel asked. Rebecca nodded. The video that played made everyone in the room step back. Nathan Reynolds, but younger, maybe 13, and an adult man. Face carefully kept off camera. The things happening made several officers look away. "Christ," Quinn breathed. That's his father." The pieces clicked into place with horrible clarity. Nathan's rage, his need for control, the way he'd broken when cornered. Hurt people hurt people. Rebecca's psychology training whispered. "Turn it off," she said quietly. The screen went dark, but the weight of what they'd seen lingered. Nathan Reynolds wasn't just a predator. He was a victim who'd chosen to become a predator. It didn't excuse anything, but it explained everything. "Principal Lawson needs to see this." Sarah had her phone out. "All of it? Where is Lawson?" Quinn looked around. "This is his school." "On his way," Sarah said. "He's bringing someone." The art room door opened again. Principal Robert Lawson entered. His usual administrative mask cracked with barely contained fury. Beside him walked a girl, maybe 15, who looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. "This is my daughter Emma," Lawson said. "She goes to Westfield High. 3 months ago, she became a victim of the same operation." Emma lifted her chin, meeting the room's eyes with hard-won courage. "I'm ready to testify. Publicly. No more hiding." "Emma, you don't have to," her father started. "Yes, I do." Emma's voice carried steel her age shouldn't have needed. "They win when we hide, when we're ashamed of what they did to us. I'm done being ashamed." One by one, they began arriving, students trickling in despite the police presence. Word had spread through group chats, whispered phone calls, the invisible network of the wounded. Maya entered first, followed by Ashley. Then came others Rebecca didn't recognize. Boys, too, she realized with a start. Nathan's operation hadn't discriminated. 37, Daniel counted softly. 37 victims just from our district. They stood together in the art room, a army of the broken refusing to stay broken. Some cried. Some stood stone-faced. All of them looked at Rebecca. "What do we do now?" Lily asked. Rebecca thought of her father, of the lessons he'd taught her about standing up to bullies, about finishing fights. "Now we tell the truth," she said. "All of it. Publicly. Loudly. Until they can't ignore us anymore." The news vans arrived within an hour. Someone, probably a parent, had leaked the story. Massive deepfake ring busted at local high school. Dozens of victims come forward. Teachers' bravery stops digital predators. Rebecca stood before the cameras, blood still on her blouse, surrounded by survivors. The reporters shouted questions, but she raised a hand for silence. 8 months ago, children in our community became victims of a form of violence that our laws haven't caught up to yet. Digital violence, psychological torture, life destruction through pixels and lies. She looked directly into the main camera. Today, 37 survivors stand here to say enough. We're not hiding anymore. We're not ashamed of what was done to us. We demand justice. We demand change. And we demand that every parent, every teacher, every legislator in this state pay attention. "Miss Mitchell," a reporter pushed forward, "what would you say to other victims who haven't come forward?" Rebecca touched her father's dog tags. "Your silence is the oxygen that feeds predators. Your voice is your weapon. Your courage is your armor. And you're not alone. You're never alone. The crowd of survivors pressed closer, a wall of solidarity. Emma Lawson stepped forward. My name is Emma Lawson. I'm 15 years old. 3 months ago, a deep-fake video of me was created and distributed to 400 students. I tried to kill myself twice. Gasps from the reporters. Emma continued, voice steady. I'm still here because people like Miss Mitchell exist. Because Detective Harrison didn't give up. Because my dad believed me when others didn't. Nathan Reynolds and his crew aren't masterminds. They're cowards who hide behind screens. Today, we drag them into the light. More survivors spoke, each story a punch to the gut, each voice growing stronger by being heard. The cameras captured it all, broadcasting pain transformed into power. 6 months later. Courtroom 7 buzzed with tension. Nathan Reynolds sat at the defendant's table, orange jumpsuit hanging off his diminished frame. The boy who'd terrorized dozens looked like what he was, a damaged 18-year-old facing the consequences of his choices. Rebecca adjusted her jacket and approached the witness stand. The courtroom was packed. Survivors, families, media, in the gallery. She spotted Marcus Thompson, now working as a consultant for the FBI's cybercrime division. Immunity deals secured in exchange for his testimony. Miss Mitchell, the prosecutor began, can you describe the events of November 18th? Rebecca spoke for 47 minutes. Every detail, every cut, every moment of fear transformed into determination. When she finished, the courtroom was silent except for muffled sobs from the gallery. The defense attorney, a sharp-suited woman who'd clearly drawn the short straw, stood. Miss Mitchell, isn't it true that my client is himself a victim of abuse? Yes, Rebecca said simply. He is. The attorney blinked, clearly expecting a fight. Then surely you can understand. I understand that Nathan Reynolds was given a choice. Rebecca's voice cut through the courtroom. Stay a victim or become a survivor. He chose to become a predator instead. That's not healing. That's perpetuating cycles of abuse. But given his father's treatment, gives him my sympathy, not my forgiveness. Rebecca looked directly at Nathan. He had resources, therapy, money, options. He chose to build an empire of suffering instead. Nathan couldn't meet her eyes. He stared at his hands, shoulders shaking. The verdict came after 3 days of deliberation. Guilty on all counts. The judge, a woman who'd seen too much in her career, delivered the sentence with grave finality. Mr. Reynolds, you turned pain into profit, trauma into entertainment. You industrialized suffering, 15 years minimum, lifetime registration as a sex offender, and mandatory psychological treatment. Nathan's breakdown was complete. As they led him away, he looked back once, not at Rebecca, but at his father's empty seat in the gallery. Reynolds Sr. was serving his own sentence now. Financial crimes finally caught up to him. The courthouse steps bloomed with spring flowers and hope. Rebecca stood with Sarah and Daniel, watching the last news van pull away. The story was over, but the healing had just begun. We did it, Sarah said softly. We actually did it. No, Rebecca corrected. They did it. The survivors. We just gave them a voice. Lincoln Heights High School had transformed. Rebecca's art room now hosted more than painting classes twice a week. She taught self-defense, basic moves, awareness, empowerment through preparation. Remember, she told her current class, the goal isn't to win a fight, It's to create an opportunity to escape. The wall behind her displayed a new installation. Survivors, in bold letters, surrounded by painted handprints. Over 100 now, from 3 schools, each hand a story, each color a choice to keep living. Lily Walker assisted with the class, having found purpose in helping others navigate what she'd survived. Her smile, absent for so long, had returned. Miss Mitchell, a freshman, raised her hand. "What if they're bigger than us?" Rebecca smiled. "Size is just one factor. Knowledge, preparation, and the willingness to act matter more. Let me show you something my dad taught me." After class, Rebecca found a package on her desk. No return address, but she recognized Marcus's digital signature in the QR code on the label. Inside, a flash drive and a note. "There's another ring. 3 states, kids as young as 12. We need your help." She plugged in the drive. Files flooded her screen. A new network, more sophisticated. Learning from Nathan's mistakes. The scope was staggering. "You seeing this?" Sarah appeared at her shoulder, having received the same package. "Yeah," Rebecca's jaw set. "Looks like we're not done yet." The legislation helps. Sarah pulled up news on her phone. Rebecca's law passed in 12 states now. Mandatory minimums for deepfake abuse. Federal task force forming. It was progress, but not enough. Never enough, while kids suffered in digital silence. Rebecca's phone rang. Detective Quinn. "Mitchell, you might want to come down to the station. We just arrested someone claiming they have information about a multi-state operation. They're asking for you specifically." "On my way." The cemetery was quiet, except for spring birds and distant traffic. Rebecca knelt by her father's headstone, placing fresh flowers and his old boxing gloves. "You were right, Dad, about everything, about standing up, about finishing fights, about being brave when bravery is all you have left." The wind carried the scent of new growth. Beside her, Daniel and Sarah waited respectfully. They'd become more than colleagues. They were soldiers in a war most people didn't know existed. "So," Daniel said as they walked back to the car, "multi-state operation. Federal involvement, probably dangerous." "Definitely dangerous," Sarah corrected. "These new ones have learned. They'll be more careful, more violent when cornered." Rebecca touched her father's dog tags one more time. The weight of them had changed. No longer just memory, but mission. "Good thing we've learned too." She looked at her friends, her fellow warriors. "Ready for round 2? Their answer was in their eyes. The same determination that had taken down Nathan Reynolds. The same refusal to let predators win. As they drove away, Rebecca caught sight of someone familiar in the cemetery. Marcus Thompson, placing flowers on a grave. His sister's name on the stone not dead, she realized, but visiting someone who was. Perhaps the person he'd been before Nathan's web caught him. He looked up, caught her eye, nodded once, a salute between soldiers. The war against digital predators had only just begun, but for the first time. The predators had something to fear, survivors who refused to stay silent, teachers who fought back, hackers seeking redemption, cops who didn't give up. And somewhere in Cleveland, in art rooms and coffee shops and basement servers, the next battle was already taking shape. Rebecca's phone buzzed. Unknown number. The message was simple. "They know you're coming. Be ready." She smiled, her father's fierce grin. "Let them know we're not hiding anymore." The car pulled onto the highway, heading toward whatever darkness waited. But Rebecca Mitchell had learned something in that art room, bleeding but unbroken. Sometimes the only way out is through. Sometimes the only response to terror is courage. And sometimes A good wrist lock helps too. Behind them, Lincoln Heights High School stood testament to change. No longer a hunting ground, but a place of healing. The deep-fake ring was broken, its architects facing justice. But in the digital shadows, new predators stirred, new victims waited for salvation. The fight continued. It always would, until every survivor found their voice, until every predator faced consequences. Until the day when children could exist online without fear of being turned into someone else's twisted entertainment. Rebecca Mitchell drove toward that day, her father's lessons in her heart, her friends at her side, and an army of survivors at her back. The scissors had drawn blood, but they'd also forged warriors. And warriors don't quit until the war is won. In the end, that's what the predators never understood. They thought they were creating victims. Instead, they created an army that would never stop fighting, an army that would never stay silent, an army that would always finish what others started. The screen faded to black with one final message. 1 in 4 teens will face digital abuse. Don't let them face it alone. Speak up. Fight back, survive. The story was over. The mission had just begun. The spring semester brought unexpected visitors to Lincoln Heights. Camera crews from 60 Minutes, documentary filmmakers from Netflix, researchers from Harvard studying digital trauma. Rebecca turned them all away, except one, Amanda Chen, a survivor from Nathan's first wave of victims. Now 22 and studying law. She stood in the art room where it all ended, running her fingers over the survivor wall. I never thought I'd come back here, Amanda said, but I needed to see it, to know it was really over. It's not over, Rebecca said gently, but it's different now. We're different. Amanda nodded, tears flowing freely. I'm in law school because of what happened, specializing in cybercrime prosecution. Nathan Reynolds gave me purpose he never intended. They stood together, mentor and survivor. Understanding passing between them without words, trauma transformed into purpose, pain alchemized into power. Thank you, Amanda whispered, for being the teacher we needed, for showing us we could fight back. Rebecca pulled her into a hug. Thank you for surviving, for choosing to use your voice. That's the real victory. Outside, spring painted the world in hope. Inside, 2 women stood testament to resilience, to the unbreakable nature of the human spirit, to the truth that sometimes the deepest wounds forge the strongest warriors. The fight continued, but now they were winning.